Hi everybody. In this video I want to share a little bit of information about how the U.S. Census Bureau deals with different geographies and what that means for the type of data that you can use depending on the type of analysis you're trying to do. So to understand this, I want to give an example with a particular state. This is Ohio. And we're going to be considering the differences in how the census deals with county level data versus metropolitan level data and beyond. So the biggest thing is that if you're looking at what's available in the census, you can get a lot of economic, social, housing data, and so on and so forth with ACS, American Community Survey. Instead of waiting 10 years for a decennial census all the time, the census actually has 1 year data for certain geographies so that you can analyze a particular location in many cases every single year. The biggest difference between using 1 year data profiles versus these 5 year data profiles, it comes down to geography. And ultimately, what's happening is the census is surveying people randomly throughout time, and so in any given year, if the census is calling people from all around the state of Ohio, in 1 year they're going to have enough information about Ohioans to have 1 year data estimates. But if they take some very rural county, and because the sampling is random, in order to get enough data for a single county, take Vinton County for example, in order to get enough sample for a very small county, which has a much smaller population, it takes more time, more years of calling in order to get enough people sampled from one small county in order to have a good estimate of what the actual economic, social, and demographic situation is in a small place like this. So ultimately, we can have 1 year estimates for any population with more than 65,000 people. That's going to work for all the states in the United States, and most metropolitan areas, metropolitan statistical areas. Some counties, especially like very urban counties that have cities, are going to have more than 65,000 people, but many are not. And so in that case, there used to be 3 year estimates. Those aren't quite as common anymore. So we'll skip ahead to 5 year estimates. This is going to give data for every type of geography available, including the small counties, even geographies smaller than a county, like a census tract, for example. And ultimately, this is going to be data collected over a period of 5 years. So you're not going to be able to do kind of an annual data set looking at kind of annual trends. But you could take like a 2013 to 2018 sample and compare that to a 2008 to a 2013 sample, or a 2007 to 2012 sample, to look at a trend that way. But essentially, it comes down to the population. So if the place you're examining has more than 65,000 people, you can do the annual data set and you'll be fine. If you're looking at counties, I would highly recommend using 5 year estimates, particularly if any of those counties might be small enough where they have less than 65,000 people, because then you're not going to get the data that you need. And one thing, let me just share what a Metropolitan Statistical Area is. Basically, it's a city made up, it's a geography that's made up of counties. And so, for example, this green one in the middle of Ohio, this is the Columbus Metropolitan Statistical Area. Columbus is the capital of Ohio. The city is here in Franklin County. And so what a metropolitan statistical area is an urban core. So there's an urban core county, in this case that's Franklin, that has at least 50,000 people, and it includes other counties nearby where there's a certain amount of commuters coming in. So people coming in from Union, Delaware, Morrow County, all these people commuting into Columbus to work. And so, again, almost all of these have at least the 65,000 that we need. Here's a list of all the metropolitan statistical areas in the United States, New York being the biggest. But as you can see, there are only a handful down at the bottom. There are only a handful, 4, that don't meet the requirement to be considered a they don't meet the requirement to have the 65,000 in order to get the 1-year estimates in the census data profiles through the American Community Survey. So unless you're doing some analysis with Lewiston, Enid, Walla Walla, or Carson City, you can use 1-year estimates in order to do kind of an annual analysis on metropolitan areas. Because all of them have enough population in order to get that sample. Otherwise, if you're dealing with counties, particularly anytime you're doing an analysis on rural areas, you're going to want to use a 5-year data estimates from the Census Bureau in order to get that data. So in the next video, I'm going to show you, if you come out to data.census.gov and click on Advanced Search Surveys, then you can get into these 1- and 5-year data profiles that you can then use to go out and get that economic data, social, housing, demographic, and so forth. So that's how we define the different types of geographies when we're doing some type of data analysis. There are other ones, but counties, metropolitan areas, and of course states as a whole are another option. That's how we kind of think about the type of data we're able to use through the American Community Survey when we're thinking about 1-year versus 5-year estimates. Okay, so in the next video, I'm going to go through an example of collecting some of this data and turning it into a small market analysis. Thanks, everybody.